Nigel Farage there speaking to the BBC's Laura Koonsberg. Let's turn our attention now back to the Golden Globes, and we can cross over to Los Angeles, where the first big film awards of the season will take place. Let's speak now to Amanny Mohamed, film critic and entertainment podcast host of Art to Art with Amanny Mo. Hello to you.
Good morning.
Are you getting all excited about this evening? And talk us, talk us through what to look out for. There doesn't seem to be really one sort of dominant film here. Quite a few in the running, aren't there, this time?
There are definitely a more of a mixed bag this year, it has to be said. I mean, Emilia Perez, it's a musical thriller. It does sound a bit of a strange combination, but Emilia Perez is actually the front runner with 10 nominations. And really, it's not like last year where it was, Op and Barbie, or, it was all a bit like, this is a much more interesting mix of films. And actually, don't forget that the Golden Globes are nominated by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. So there's a bit more, arguably, a bit more critical element. It's 300 or so journalists from around 80 or so countries deciding on these nominations. Now, I mentioned, of course, Emilia Perez there, but you've also got The Brutalist with 7 nominations, a fantastic film called Conclave, a cardinal drama with Ralph Fiennes, coming up with 6. And I think, it's kind of almost the year of the independent film as well. I really am excited about the fact that we see lots of films in here that are not only on the big screen, where it's important to watch movies, of course, but also we get to see them on streaming platforms shortly after their release. I think what's interesting about the Globes this year is many of these films that are nominated we will not have seen yet, believe it or not. The Brutalist we haven't seen. Baby Girl, where Nicole Kidman is nominated in the Best Actress category. Also Maria as well, where Angelina Jolie is in the biopic. And lots of these films are coming out this month. So a very interesting combination of nominations here this year.
And there are quite a few Brits nominated as well, aren't there?
So many Brits. I think the Golden Globes, I think, obviously, with the exception of BAFTA, of course, is very usually the place where the Brits do really, really well with recognition. Kate Winslet has got 2 nominations this year, but, we've got Richard Gadd with Baby Reindeer. Even Robbie Williams has snuck in with a Best Song nomination as well. You've got there really are plenty. Hugh Grant in a horror. Who could have even thought that Heretic would do so well, and that he gets a nomination for his first ever horror movie? Keira Knightley, if we turn to telly, Keira Knightley with Black Doves, and then you've also got Eddie Redmayne for Day of the Jackal, and even Daniel Craig for the movie Queer. So it's a really wonderful experience for us. Sadly, though, this year it's going to be very hard to find where to watch it. There are no broadcasters here in the UK that are actually broadcasting the Globes, Golden Globes live, but I'm sure you can find it on a streaming platform. I think Paramount Plus and some other networks, YouTube and
You'll
some
just
other
have
networks.
to tune into the BBC News channel for regular updates, won't you? That's what you'll have to do. Just talk about, there has been controversy, hasn't there, before? You talked about how there are now 300 people who are voting on this. This is because the numbers were expanded, weren't they? Just to explain a bit about what happened there.
Yes, so back in 2021, Golden Globe Gate happened, where it was uncovered that there were actually, up until now, bearing in mind this is the 82nd Golden Globe Awards ceremony, there were no Black or diverse members of the voting community. Now, as I mentioned, this is about journalists, so this is really strange. And this was, everybody was up in uproar about this. 2022 was cancelled while they tried to figure out what to do. And then the Golden Globes came back in 2023. And of course, we are talking about the fact that a lot of films, were ignored, and many actors from ethnic backgrounds, ethnic minorities, were also ignored. And I think there have been rumblings as well this year that Danielle Deadwyler, for example, for The Piano Lesson, hasn't been nominated. She put in a sterling performance, massive critical reviews and acclaim for her. Also, interestingly, Mike Leigh's film Hard Truths with Marianne Jean-Baptiste, that's coming out in the UK at the end of this month, sorry. And she puts in a performance of a lifetime, playing a depressed woman who's lonely, but she's really acerbic and really funny. I would say this is a performance of a lifetime for Marianne Jean-Baptiste. She's incredible in it.
Okay.
No nominations.
Yeah.
So I know people could say, well, somebody's got to win and lose. I appreciate that. But I think we've got to look at the bigger picture here. The Golden Globes, more than the Academy, I'd say, need to be much more proactive in hiring the people that vote.
Yeah, lovely. Well, thank you for talking to us. Really appreciate your time. That's Amanny Mohamed from the Art to Art with Amanny Mo podcast. Thank you so much.